So Trump was MIA for a couple of days, and man, was everyone freaking out. Uh, Trump goes dark, as the Mirror US reports. And so it was widely speculated that, oh, actually, has something happened to Trump? Has he died? Is he having a health episode? And to be honest with you, these are actually not unreasonable things to think, because Trump has what I think we can all agree is the most stressful job in the world. And Trump works a lot. I don't know whether you've noticed, but Trump is constantly doing stuff. But also, we saw what it did to Barack Obama, right? And George W. Bush, like Bill Clinton. It's a job that ages you a lot. And Obama was the most paradigmatic case, though, because he went from having youthful looks and normal amount of normal coloured hair to looking aged and white haired at the end of it. So it was clear that this was a stressful job. And I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's the president of the United States. Of course it is. And so people were like, well, I mean, where has he gone? Where is he? He's keeping his head down and hiding from cameras amid grave health rumours. And to be honest with you, you can kind of see why people thought this. He appeared recently, I can't remember where this was, but he was giving a handshake, and you can see that the blusher or whatever they call it, the makeup that he's got on his hand, clearly doesn't fit his skin tone, so it looks like he's had some sort of injury maybe or something like that that's being covered up there. And people noticed that his ankles were very wide. This looks like a medical condition that my nan had, although she had it way worse than Trump does here, where blood pools in your ankles and they get very wide. And there's not a lot you can do about it, because frankly, it's just a symptom of getting old. And to be honest with you, this is not entirely unreasonable. A lot of people noticed, like, that he didn't play golf in 2 weekends, and Trump loves his golf, so it's understandable that people will be like, well, hang on a second, the makeup on his hand is probably covering up intravenous medicines. And so does that mean there's something wrong with him? And to be honest with you, like I said, this is not an unreasonable thing to think, because Trump's nearly 80. He's 79 years old. He's doing the most stressful job in the world. I would be shocked if it didn't have some sort of effect on his health. Like, it would be really weird if it didn't have an effect on his health, actually. And then, in the swirl of all of this happening, I think J.D. Vance came out and said probably the worst thing he could have said. He said that, yeah, he's ready to take over if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy with Trump. Yes, things can always happen. I mean, this is the worst thing to say in this scenario. Yes, things can always happen, and God forbid there's terrible tragedy. I can't think of any better on-the-job training than I've gotten over the last 200 days. And remember, behind like the veil of ignorance, it seemed that we hadn't seen Trump for like 2 or 3 days. Vance comes out, but prior to that, we'd seen like the signs of aging in him, which again, not unreasonable when you're nearly 80 years old. And then Vance comes out and is like, yeah, so if anything happens, I'm ready to take over, guys. Which obviously that's the job of the vice president, but makes people think, well, hang on a second, what are you trying to tell us here? But he stressed, I feel very confident the president of the United States is in good shape and is going to serve out the remainder of his term and do great things to the American people, which is not exactly reassuring. Because it kind of makes it sound like something's already happened, doesn't it? He's got incredible energy, and while most of the people that work around the president of the United States are younger than he is, what we find, he's actually the last person who goes to sleep. He's the last person making phone calls at night. He's the first person to wake up and the first person making calls in the morning. Well, that's great. But why don't we hear that from Trump himself? Like, you can see why this made people freak out a little bit. It was like, well, hang on a second. What exactly has happened, Mr. Vance? Why do you need to tell us this? Anyway, then, a couple of days, like a day after, we finally got to see that Trump was alive, because he came out of one of the White House, wherever this was. And people noticed, wow, he doesn't look good. And to be honest with you, he doesn't. He looks tired and like, he's had a rough couple of days. And so this fueled rumours and speculation even more that he has bad health. And again, I hate to say it, but it's not an unreasonable thing to think when you're 79 years old. And so the funny thing, though, is that Trump came out and said, well, look, I didn't even know that there were rumours about my death. I was working. He came out to give a press conference to inform everyone that actually, no, I'm not ill. I'm arranging to move the Space Force headquarters from Colorado to, I think it was Tennessee. And that's what I've been busy doing. And in this, let's see if we can watch this, because actually he does seem very chipper.
Something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really?
I didn't see that.
You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff.
I'm glad.
So Trump seems actually like his fairly normal chipper self there. I think it is worth admitting that Trump, you can tell that he has slowed down a bit, right? So he genuinely has been fighting titanic forces since the end of 2015. And he has had a hell of a roller coaster of a political career, hasn't he? Let's come in and swoop in, smash the Republican Party, smash the Democrat Party, be president against the entire machine, basically, for 4 straight years, 4 solid years. Learn some hard truths about the way that the United States is governed. Get beaten, shall we say, for, I don't know what YouTube allows me to say about elections anymore. So get beaten, quote unquote, by Joe Biden solidly. And to have spent 4 years, not just in the wilderness. If it was just in the wilderness, that would probably be okay. No, 4 years persecuted under lawfare to eventually have several charges brought against him, have his mugshot leaked, have various different ways that they attack his businesses and his personal life, and try to trump him up on a bunch of charges that, frankly, I don't think he deserves. And then to come back from all of that and absolutely wreck them, and now be the president in his last term, but in his most powerful form. Well, I'm not surprised he slowed down a bit. I mean, come on, again, he's 79 years old. To have accomplished everything he's accomplished in his life, and then all of this, I think we can forgive him not being quite as chipper as he was back when he started. And to be honest with you, I mean, I doubt I'd have the energy to do this when I was nearly 80. But anyway, Trump truthed out things like, never felt better in my life, and DC is a crime-free zone, which, I mean, it basically was. The murder rate dramatically dropped after he actually sent in the National Guard to stop, was it the Guard? I think it was. To stop crime because for some reason it's out of control, that we won't go into here. But Trump does have some health conditions I think it's worth bearing in mind, which is the reason why when people saw, say, his ankles or his hand, they found themselves with cause for concern, because you can't get to 79 years old without accruing some kind of health conditions. And the fact that Trump doesn't appear to have more health conditions is probably testament to the fact that he's surprisingly robust. But yeah, he's got a chronic vein condition, which is, what's it called? It's chronic venous insufficiency, which occurs when leg veins fail to pump blood to the heart, causing it to pool in the lower limbs, which then becomes swollen. I'm sure that's a dramatic simplification of what the thing actually is. But the point being, this does happen. when you're an old person, because this is just part of growing old. It's something that you can't really get away from. And it is worth remembering, as they say, he is the oldest US president ever inaugurated. So, I mean, good for him. There's no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease, which is all well and good. And apparently this condition is benign and common, especially in people over 70. Again, my nans both had this, so, I mean, it does seem to be common. And what can you do? It itself is not some sort of life-threatening illness. Additional testing showed no signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness in Trump, Barbarella said in the note. You know what's interesting is I've seen Trump have things pointed to him. In fact, Peter Doocy did it in the press conference, I think. Put something on his phone, and Trump was actually able to see it on the screen. That's quite surprising, because most old people have to get their glasses to be able to see the thing. So that's actually quite surprising. But yeah, so Trump is doing well for a 79-year-old or 78-year-old man. And it seems that he's fine, which is good. The condition doesn't appear to be serious. Trump seems to be doing otherwise. I mean, as a president, he's doing as good a job as can be expected. Not everyone's happy. Nothing's perfect. But he's doing pretty well. And so, and that's given the scale and difficulty of the job as well, and just the remarkable stress. But one thing I am very pleased with the interregnum in Trump is that it gave him the time and breathing space to get a really solid team. And I can't help but notice that his team seems to be doing a great job too. So well done, Americans. I'm very pleased for you, and long may it continue. By the way, we discovered today, and this was pointed out on the podcast, that Islander 4 is currently on eBay for like £400 or £300 or something like that. And I just want to remind you that Islander 4 is actually still on sale, although, like I've said, I don't know how long it's going to be on sale for. It's not going to be much longer now, so get your copy, link in the description. Pay $14.99 or whatever that is in your local currency, rather than the unbelievable price the secondary market for Islander magazines is charging. These are entirely worth your time, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the quality of the art, the quality of the aesthetics, the quality of the writing, and the subject matter itself is something, frankly, I just don't think you're going to get elsewhere. And that's why we actually decided, you know, this is so good. We could have made it a digital magazine, right? We could have made it completely digital, could have put it on the website, and it would have been very good. But it's so good, it's worth having in a tangible, immutable form. Because this just makes it more real and it makes it more worthy, I think. But of course that means that it's not going to be around forever, so get it while you can. Don't get scalped later. Link in the description.